Morning guys, it's John with Foodie A1C.com, and yeah, today we're back in our kitchen, and yeah, it's been a while since I've done anything here in the kitchen. So this morning I thought we'd go over how to make a very simple breakfast dish, which happens to be one of my favorite dishes, and actually one of my kids' favorite dishes as well, which is French toast. It's a very simple dish with very simple ingredients, and today I'd like to show you how I make my French toast. So yeah, let's go. So these are my basic ingredients to French toast. We have our milk, eggs, and the bread. Now I go a step beyond and add cinnamon, just to kick up the flavor a little bit. But for the most part, if you don't have cinnamon, you can just stick with your basic ingredients right here. Now the most important thing that I want to point out is that very important part of your French toast is the bread, for obvious reasons, because it's the main ingredient. The best bread, in my opinion, to use is challah bread. Now I know it may not be available everywhere, but try your best to find it, because this is the best bread to use. Just because they use in the baking process and the making process of this bread, they already use eggs in it, so it actually, for lack of a better term, it doubles up on the egg value, since you're adding your own eggs in the mix. And the bread itself has eggs already as its ingredient, so if you can find some, it works best. White bread works as well. I haven't really tried wheat bread, but for the most part, this is the best bread. In my opinion, it's the best bread to use for French toast. So this is how I make my wash, or my dip for the bread. I basically use the fresh milk, so I use about, I guess, a cup to a cup and a half. I'm not really, it also depends on how much you're making. I'm not making a lot, so I'm making probably 6 slices of French toast, so that should be enough. So I'm also going to be using, well, let me see how this goes, but for the most part, 1 egg should really be enough, but again, if you're making a lot of French toast, I would suggest adding another egg. And also, if you remember before, I mentioned that the challah bread also has eggs in it already. You won't really need too much eggs, but feel free to use 2 eggs in your wash, just to, if you want it extra rich. I mentioned that I also use a little bit of cinnamon. So I basically just sprinkle a little bit, maybe that much, however much that is. It's a pinch. Cinnamon, if you haven't used it before, cinnamon is a very, very strong spice. So I would be careful adding a lot. Don't add a lot. Oh, that's all you need. So just a dusting, basically. So after that, you basically just incorporate all of your ingredients. It's best to use a whisk. And the cinnamon is actually the hardest ingredient to kind of incorporate into something that's liquid like this. See how it kind of stays up, floating. But yeah, try your best to incorporate the cinnamon. You don't really, it doesn't really need to disappear. So, and which is fine. So yeah, that's good. Now that our wash is ready, you can set it aside, and we can work on our bread. So again, I can't stress this enough. The challah bread is my opinion, the best bread to use for French toast. So all you need to do is slice it. Kind of important to have a bread knife. So what I usually do is I just slice off the end. I don't really use it. I mean, sometimes if I'm really hungry, I'll snack on it. Yeah, you can stick this to the side. I don't throw it away. I'll find a use for it. So you know, I don't waste any ingredients. But for the most part, as far as the bread, I use about 3/4 of an inch to an inch slice. I like a thick French toast. So basically, you know, that thick. What's good about cutting it this size as well is it actually soaks up a lot of the wash, you know, the dip that we had made earlier, and you know, it makes for a really nice and soft. It's soft on the inside, kind of a little bit toasty, crunchy on the outside, if you will. Not really toasty, but you know what I mean. And it holds, you know, the mix in there pretty well, especially now. You know, this bread is a couple of days old. It's kind of dry already, and you know, that's like the best time to use this bread, or any bread actually. You know, a little day old or 2 day old bread is best for French toast. So I'm going to continue slicing this. And now we got our bread. Go ahead and cook them.
A few moments later.
Okay, on to the cooking part. What I like to use to cook with is a double griddle. You can use this type of griddle on a double burner if you have a gas stove. In this case, I have an electric stove. I mean, it works as well, but again, if you've seen my other videos, my other cooking videos, I really dislike having this type of stove. So now that I actually had this griddle warming up, so it's important to have a nice, nice, not too hot, but a nice hot griddle. So it kind of seals the flavors into the bread. So what I like to use is butter, or half butter, half canola oil in this, you know, in order to you know, fry it or cook it. So, and it works really well just because it has the canola oil. The canola oil has a higher burn value or burn ratio. Sometimes I use like the non-stick spray like this, but what I find is the non-stick spray, especially this one, doesn't really have any flavor. So what you do is I have my wash over here. I'm dipping the sliced bread, you know, only like a couple of seconds. That's all you need. You don't really need too much. You know, now that I've dipped the bread, you know, in the wash, you know, basically just place it on the griddle. And that's basically my process for cooking French toast. I'm gonna let that cook, you know, not too long. It takes about, you know, a good, you know, 2 to 3 minutes to cook a piece. So I'm gonna let that go for a little bit, and I'll come back and we'll check it.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So we're gonna check for doneness on that one side. So yeah, see, I got a nice little toast on it, and that's what you want. It's kind of hard a little bit, and that means it sealed the juices in there. So let's check this side. See guys, you see it's not as brown, as dark. So that part isn't quite done yet because that's on the other burner. Again, another reason why I really dislike these electric stoves. So I'm just gonna flip that back, and yeah, we're not in a rush, so I'm gonna allow that to cook some more. But you know, these are going well. So guys, these look done on both sides as well. So I'm gonna take them off. I really wish you could smell this, guys, because the cinnamon is actually coming through really nice. Take that off of the fire or the stove. So there it is, guys. French toast. Eat that with a little bit of butter, a little bit of syrup. It's a great breakfast for me and for the kids. So thanks guys, thank you for joining me this morning. Prepared a very simple breakfast dish. French toast. Right here. I usually pair that with something else, like here in New Jersey we have what we call pork roll, or Taylor ham, as some people like to call it. It's a, it's like a luncheon meat almost, similar, very similar to Spam. I guess that would be my point of reference. And I actually eat it with Spam as well. You can eat it with bacon, whatever you like, or have it by itself. So again, thank you guys for joining me. If you like my content, please do hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what your favorite breakfast items are, or if you have another style of cooking French toast, yeah, let me know. I'm always looking for different dishes, different ways of cooking. So if you'd like to contribute, yeah, please do so. Just comment down below, and yeah, let's talk. Again, thank you guys for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a good day ahead. And again, thank you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys.